Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the episode of Universal Lens. I am here with Henry Beltra, who has some extra energy tonight, and Anthony to a live crew. So everybody, thanks for coming back. And let's get down to business.
Yeah.
You owe me $20 on Joe. Henry had a topic he wanted to discuss, so let's get right into it.
Say Henry.
Yes, I did. Yes. All right. What was your idea?
Here we go.
All right. So you don't just go to the gym, right? You don't just show up to the gym and, start your sets. You do your chest or whatever it is you're going to do your bench press, do your flies, and that's it. You develop this great chest. That's it. You're done. So it doesn't work that way, right? When you go to the gym, you might get a little pump going, but when you go to the mirror, you're still the same guy. You still, it needs a lot of time and a lot of layering. It's workout after workout after workout after workout. And the way that I like to compare, and now we're still talking about workouts, the way that I like to compare that is that every time you go to the gym, you ever seen a sheet of paper?
I have seen a sheet of paper.
So if you take, yeah. Oh, you see, as a sheet of paper?
Oh, that was just a general.
Wait, have you seen a sheet of paper?
No, never have. I have no idea what it is.
I'm going to show you. This is a sheet of paper. All right.
Oh, very nice.
And so for the boys and girls who are following along at home, if I tell you, rip this sheet of paper, you can just go, you can rip it. So every day you go to the gym, you add a sheet of paper. But it's one sheet.
I'm getting it.
So you really can't tell that you've done anything. But after about 300 times at the gym, you now have a very good set of sheets here. And now I tell you, go ahead and rip that one now. And you're going to be like, hard to rip. Sure. And I believe where I was going with all this analogy, because I love analogies, is mindfulness or your awareness is basically kind of similar, where you can't sit in one meditation set and say, I meditated. I'm so mindful. I got it. I'm so detached. I'm like, I'm not attached to anything. It doesn't work that way. I think it's just like what I mentioned at the gym, right? So like by that 300th day at the gym, you are well-oiled, well-versed, your muscles respond. And like we were talking before, like every time you go to the gym, you feel something, a new tweak. Like if you're pressing, press with this part of your hand, not this part of your hand. You ever do that? Mm-hmm. It's a big difference. But those are the subtleties that you do, that you only learn when you're really down the road in lifting. I believe that the comparison is very similar here in that you start day one by doing a nice meditation and you're trying and you can't do it. Honestly, you can't do it.
I believe that's me. Go ahead.
No, that's everybody.
I feel like you're explaining me. Go ahead.
The reason
I'm like, how do people do this?
The reason you don't even want to sit with my own thoughts that long, you're identifying right now with what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is not strange. I think when we first started talking and I was like, John, I'd love to meditate, but I can't. Like, I don't even know this first thing. I don't even know how to do it. Because people are under the impression that there's like a rule book, a handbook on how you do it. And then you always hear, clear your mind. You ever heard of that? I think that's honestly one of the hardest parts, is clearing your mind. And so, it's very difficult to do. Can you just imagine if I sent you to the gym and I told you, you want a good pump in your muscles. And like we were talking before about different weights, and you want a good pump in your muscles. And you're like, all right, well, there's a bunch of machines here. And I don't even know. Take your time. 300 days into the gym, you're going to be like, oh, come on, let me show you. And you're going to show me. But I do these second, not first, because the first one you ended, because every time you pick up a little bit, right? You pick up a little bit.
I get you.
About yourself and about how you work, right? And so this is the part, like this is the moment where day one comes. And this happens to a lot of people that watch. Like a lot of people watch. I don't think they meditate. I forgot the word. I'm not criticizing. I'm not critiquing. But I am saying is the act of meditation is crucial, I believe, in this process. you might have another take on it, but it's very crucial because the mind and thought stream doesn't stop. So even if you tell me I meditate every day, you still have a thought stream. You still have a mind, and you might have an active mind that is poking you constantly. But when you meditate, you really develop the muscle to be able to say, hey, you're poking me, and I thank you for that. But, take a seat because I'm not really going to pay attention to you. But you only learn that when you are, few weeks and months into meditation. But your first day should look silly. Your first day should feel silly. And I'm saying that provocatively because you're not silly and you don't look silly, but you feel it. And that's fine. I'm telling you, do it. And that's what I mean by layering, because that first day could be the day that I just can't, this is ridiculous. I can't do it. What's this? And I'm telling you, as a person who's been there, and I could totally see other people feeling the same way, just literally set aside that. So for me, I'll tell you again, I like to bear it all. And because if it works for me, maybe it could work for you. So for me, it was wake up earlier than everybody else, because as I usually do anyway,
Pretty easy for me.
right? That's usually, so wake up earlier than everybody else. I go downstairs, I made my coffee. I'm still by myself. Nothing's going on. And my coffee is a distraction. So it is.
Because you want to take a sip.
That's right.
I get it. Yeah.
That's why if you listen to Dr. Joe says, quiet, and you will not take a sip of that coffee. You will not go to the bathroom. You will not move from right there. You gotta train your mind who's in charge. So in the beginning, it was that, shut up. What are we doing here? All right. So I would just sit down and I would literally close my eyes and breathe. I remember the whole breathing, right? You got to breathe into your nose, out to your mouth. Literally. While I did that, I'd be bombarded with thoughts, ideas, some of them bad, some of them good,
Things you have to do for the day.
Guess what? That's meditation. The problem is that first day, you're like, this is so foreign to me. Oh my God, I don't know. Is this correct? Stop it.
You can get frustrated and walk away from it pretty quickly.
Because you know why? Because you set yourself some sort of expectation, or you set yourself some sort of standard.
Yeah.
And there is none. And I think the more fun we make this, the more people are going to want to try it. And what you're trying to get into is that zone of, what can I do when I have these thoughts that are streaming and I want to stop them? Well, you don't stop them. What you do is you learn how to focus. And so for me, my first entrance, my first door that opened for me, I got to speak my own personal. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm boring you.
No, not at all.
What the?
Now, did your face hit the microphone?
No, sir.
No, my nose is trying to. Yeah.
Do you want attention? Go ahead. I'm calling your parents.
20 minutes in the meditation corner.
My parents. They will be hearing from me. So my first few rounds of meditation was like that. It was like a struggle.
Yeah. No, I feel it, man. And I feel like I'm right there.
And I use a word, I harken back to our early days of my militaristic. So you're from the police, bro. Like you would understand me more than anybody. I have a very militaristic mind. I don't understand where I got it from, but every time I would talk to John, it would be a fight. There's a fight going on. There's a war, and it's this side and this side. That's just my structure.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell him, like, I'm trying to win the thought, and you're like, you're not trying to win thought. You're not trying to beat any thought. So once I kind of, all right, you know what? That's why I'm kind of doing that wrong. Let me go back. And I focused on something. For me, it was, I put myself in the shoes of the air. Maybe I'm the air. The air that I'm breathing, I'm visualizing the air going in. I'm visualizing the path the air takes, and the air, the space it fills in my lungs, in my imaginary lungs, because I don't know where my lungs are, point to here, but I don't know. They could be further down. The point is, that's what I'm thinking about. And I did that for an extended period of time. And every minute that passes, or basically every second that passes, you will see that slowly and all of a sudden, the thought stream did stop. And the only thought stream that you have going is that concentration on the air. The longer you leave yourself in that loop, your mind really takes a much deserved rest that it requires. And right there, things start to click. And right there, you're like, wow, that felt like I did stop my mind. And technically you did. Technically you did stop that. Maybe you didn't, because maybe a psychiatrist or a psychologist said, no, there was activity. You just were focusing on something else.
Hey, yeah, that's true. Makes sense. Oh, it makes sense. I mean,
and when that day happens, don't leave there thinking, I got it. Go to the gym again. Keep going to the gym. You will see how you just learn so much about you, and you learn so much about your thought stream. And then there's my added flavor. My added flavor is that I love to experiment with other things that can help me make it a little bit. And I don't want to get.
I have another great analogy for you.
Like, I walk close to the line of bringing in a new ego, if you know what I'm saying. I walk close to that line, meaning I want to experiment with other meditations. And we used to talk about the different meditations. I used to like Dispenza is the famous one that I could think of. But the guided meditations, once you know when you are in a meditative state, once you know how to work your instrument, like your body, your mind, you're gonna really enjoy the Dispenza guided meditation or any guided meditation. You know, like Eckhart.
Anyway, apps that do it now too.
Yeah, Headspace. Right. And you know what? I subscribe to a few YouTube channels that are, you know, just regular guided meditation. And you learn that there's nothing special about what anybody's doing. There really isn't. It's all the same thing. But the key here, what I started with, it's a layering effect. And I believe that the more you layer, so like the more layers you put, you'll really understand. And then you get to a point where I'll be honest, I don't have to meditate every day.
But it's exercise for your mind, just like the gym is exercise for your body.
100%.
Basically, that's the whole analogy right there.
And I'm going to be really real with you, because I haven't meditated in quite a little bit, let's say a few weeks. You know, I yearn for it. I want to meditate because I find my mind gets busy again.
Why haven't you then? What's been holding you back?
Whatever made up bullshit excuse I got for my.
That's right. Whatever bullshit excuse you got for yourself.
How about that for
I heard that was in a movie. Wait, what movie was that? Well, I think Matthew McConaughey said it somewhere, but
that's not.
That's what stops you in life, is the bullshit excuses you make up about yourself.
And just be honest. Just be honest with yourself. But so I just mentioned layering because, you know, I was, again, I've been yearning, and I have been, you know, here and there, like in the car, meditate. You meditate while you drive. I do. Not in the closed.
You're more mindful than meditate.
But I really take a moment. I really, you know, calming of the waves, calming of the stream, because again, I spend a lot of time in my cars. You know, many miles I put in my car. But my drive time is, you know, I got to use it wisely, and so I've been meditating there. But yeah, so that was my pitch for today. Layer. So for that first timer that did it, congratulations. Do it the second time. Do it the third time. And there is no wrong or right time. So many people say, so I got to do it for like 10 minutes.
Oh my God. I was just going to freaking ask you that question too. Is there a minimum amount of time you should be doing it to where you know, where it's considered good practice? You know, like you got to do like at least 10, 15 minutes, you figure, right?
I don't know if there's a rule book, but right. So I don't know if there's a rule book, but I will tell you my personal experience. My personal experience is that in the beginning, do a times 5 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute. That's 120 seconds. And you're going to say, well, what the hell? Trust me. you're doing something. You know, you put your toe in the water, and then later on you put your foot in the water.
Just like going to the gym.
Yeah.
You'll get stronger. You'll get more reps in.
And you know what we do to ourselves is we critique ourselves. We're very harsh on ourselves. We're always harsh on ourselves for some reason. Some of us, I don't know, maybe everybody's different, but like I'm harsh on myself. And I'm already, critiquing myself as to a minute, 2 minutes. Stop. That's not you talking. That's somebody else talking. It's not you. You're trying. You're sitting there. You're trying. That's what you want to do. But because you're not familiar with it, you're just like, well, let me do this short 2-3 minute thing. It's fine. Don't that voice saying, the fuck is 2 or 3 minutes? What is? Stop. Don't listen to that. Listen to that action that you were doing. We brought you there. And that benefit that you feel, I hope you felt the benefit. And just build on that every day. Get into that waking up before everybody else or whatever that is that where you
have to be whatever time of the day you're coming.
Can you give another example like you did before, like his breathing in, breathing out is a great thing to concentrate on. Once you told me, that always bring it back to your breathing. So if your mind wanders off, try so many different. Yeah, well, I'm saying, do you have any other recommendations? Give them, put them out there.
I have a recommendation. So, you ever heard of transcendental meditation?
I have. I don't know what it is, but yes.
Oh, actually, we did a mantra. We talked about it, right? So Howard Stern was a big proponent of transcendental meditation. He, according to him, saved his life.
Yeah, he's very highly of it.
He claims to have fought OCD.
Yeah.
And he claims that that transcendental meditation helped him.
Right. There's the same guy who spent like 1.5 years, 2 years
in his basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, he's mastering his mind. Didn't work.
That definitely has. I mean, at least from afar, it looked that way.
He's better now, but hey, it took a while in meditation.
But transcendental meditation, I'm not an expert on it. So if anybody wants to critique me, just know that this is my understanding. It's a very loose understanding because I am not, I don't know it enough to really, but simply put, me talking here, transcendental meditation, you have to pick a mantra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm not making fun of it. I'm simply just saying a mantra is just a word or a sound that you will say over and over again, because the act of saying that word over and over again, that's your focus. So remember, my focus was off the air.
Sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fact that you're repeating this word while you're in, your eyes are closed and you're breathing and you just repeat. So let's say my mantra was microphone, right? Microphone. And if I just sit here saying microphone,
that's what you're concentrating on saying it.
Your microphone. Yeah. So my thought stream is interrupted. I'm giving my thoughts that break.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm showing him who's boss. Okay. Well, I messed around with transcendental meditation, and you can do that. So you can do that also if it helps you.
I like the idea. Right? Another, I think, good method.
Maybe you might want to read up on how to pick a mantra. I don't know. But it's always personal to you, to whoever's doing the act. So I believe that's a nice way to go.
No, I appreciate, there is some helpful hint, especially from somebody who really is extremely new at something.
Oh, I could tell you this. Like, remember the other day, I kept telling you, man, you're really close. You're right there. If you start small,
that's what.
If you don't judge yourself, honestly, because
I'm going to be honest, I looked at some of the ones, that John sent me, you sent me, it was 15, 20 minutes, but for somebody like me, I needed to start a lot smaller.
That's that. Just do it.
Yeah, you're right, though. But I needed to start a little. I felt like that was maybe a couple of weeks in. I'd be there with the 15-minute, but I felt like I couldn't do it that way. I couldn't.
I promise you, it'll change you.
Yeah, you're right, though. I think with practice, I agree with you. I think I just have to practice.
I'm not that it'll change you because you need to be changed. I'm saying the way that you feel about that the thought stream,
where you process it,
right?
Yeah.
you'll really see like you'll feel as if your blood pressure came down a few notches. It's the strangest thing in the world. But I just don't let any hurdle, any mental hurdle that we put ourselves block you from doing what you want to do. Do it. Set your time. I used to set my timer because my phone timer. I used to set my phone. Yeah. Because I don't know like what the real time is. So I figure, let me put here a real 3 minutes and whatever happens, happens. And I learned about myself for me was the breath. I think
I actually like that one a lot. It's not only a visual, but you're right. If you did what is it?
transcendental.
Yeah. And you had a word and you said, you're saying to yourself, breathe, and you're concentrating on it coming in and out. I could see where that could be pretty mesmerizing, for a while. So I'm going to try it.
That's correct.
I'm going to try it.
And you give yourself that space. And once you gave yourself that space, you're like, wait a minute. I did go blank for a minute and I did give myself a break. So therefore, as your skill gets layered, right? As your skill gets better, now life comes, right? And life situation number one, right? I'm not going to give you anything heavy, but I'm going to give you something stupid, right? We always talk about the somebody cuts you off in traffic. And even to this day, I say, I don't get upset about that. And man, I'm lying when I tell you that I don't get upset when somebody cuts in front of me, but I do get upset when they ride my head. I'll just be real. So they come up, I get immediately.
I wish you didn't know what kind of car I drove.
I get upset. Yeah.
All behind them.
No, right up behind them. Be like, look at this guy. Watching it start bouncing all over the place. But because I've layered, because I've been down the road, no pun intended, I know enough that first initial knee-jerk reaction is not the one that I want. Because I don't want to go even 5 minutes of my day with this anguish. Oh, you. I know that I don't want it. So, very simple. If there's nobody next to me, I'll time it so that the guy next to me, has moved up or has faded back, I think I'll speed up with it. Not because I'm an old lady, not because I'm a beta simp bitch, It's simply because
those rolled rails get
that's not the fight I care to.
No, I hear you, man.
I entertain.
Listen, at our age, I don't think we have anything much more to prove. You've either proven it by now or you never will.
I'm gonna say it's not about proving, because when you say prove, it's almost like I'm being dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I'm enjoying it. I haven't said, well, if you don't correct me, you will. What 30? He's sitting on his hands right now. No, and I don't want you to know everything he's saying is spot on. So me adding any commentary to it wouldn't even do it justice.
I don't want you to think that what you said is me. What you said is not wrong. What you said is just your point of view.
Yeah.
I want to open it up and just tell you, Anthony, there's nothing to prove ever. Ever. Like, because you're looking at it like, bro, I've lived 50 years on this earth. I've done a lot. And I've done a lot. Especially
So of you.
No, you. I'm talking about you. Especially in your field. Especially the high level degree of risk. It's something that has become so part of your DNA that even when you tell me you got nothing to prove, you're talking about it from that angle. From the life, there's nothing for you to prove. Even me. What proving what to?
I think you prove yourself all the time. You just don't set the goal to maybe prove yourself. You've proven yourself as a good father. You've proven yourself as a provider. You've proven yourself as a contractor. You've proven yourself as a realtor. You have proven yourself over and over, although you haven't set the goal to do it. You've proven yourself as a man. You know what I mean? So those things are inherent, I think. When I say proves, I think it's inherent. Again, my words sometimes fail me, but that's what I meant by it. Yeah.
You're 100% right. I understand you in a deeper level. As a matter of fact, here's this experiment. I understand you so well that, do you meditate at all?
No, I told you, try it, but
okay. So
I have to do shorter times. And
here's my sociological challenge for you. You start to meditate, and you start to really understand how your thought stream and how you will learn how to calm your own self from any thought stream, you're going to remember this conversation. You'll be like, I know exactly what you mean by you got nothing to prove at any time. You're going to tell me that, because it's almost like you go to another level of existence. You go to that level of watching from above.
Yeah.
Where Anthony's watching Anthony from above.
Isn't it nice to see your thoughts coming and then probably visit the ones you want to visit?
Yeah. And I'm telling you, like, I'm not saying magically life, it goes your way. No, you still have, I still got bills to pay. I still got stuff I got to do. I still have demons, you got to wrestle with, right? We all do. Wrestle. That's right. You see? So I can tell you this, that layering effect, that's where I started the word layering, is so crucial for this practice, but you got to start somewhere.
You're right. I know, I do.
And when I speak as if I think in front of me are, let's say, 50 people, and, 10 of them meditate frequently. 10 of them have never done it at all. 10 of them done it 3 times and quit. So I try to appeal to that audience, and whoever stopped doing it, pick it up again.
Well, here's the great thing is that you are providing a little bit of a roadmap, and John provided it for me about exactly how to do it time-wise. What the process. I'm going to be honest with you, just turn on a video didn't necessarily teach me, and I got frustrated very quickly. But now that you're explaining it in a little bit different way, I understand it. Yeah. I'm sure other people understand it a little better, and I'm going to try it again. But I have to do less time and then build it up. I think I jumped in with 2 feet, and I went, how the fuck does anybody sit there for 15 minutes or 20 minutes to do it?
That's exactly right.
I don't know. But now that I know I can, like I was thinking, if I do it for 2 minutes, like it's like doing 2 push-ups. What is that going to do for you?
Right.
But you know what? It's good to get somewhere to start. And with that layering,
that's right,
you can build up that muscle memory.
That's
memory, mind muscle.
Yeah, there we go.
I know.
And everything you said resonated, because everything
but you told me a lot of that just now.
But everything you said was me. Like everything you said was me,
and most likely everyone else.
Like that awkward, weird.
Yeah.
So imagine this. So imagine this. Imagine sitting or knowing that you're going to sit with your thoughts, and at any moment, I got some thoughts that I would rather not think about, but at any moment, they jump in.
They're ricocheting off the inside of my head all the time.
And what's going to happen is, I think, so obviously everybody's different, but I believe, there's a willingness. I mean, I'm going to talk to you because there's a willingness from you. If there's a willingness
from average Joe, so probably, there's a lot of people like that.
If there's that willingness, you just take that first baby step. It's so, I'd be proud of it. Don't do it as, it's a baby step. Bullshit. It's a big step.
It's the starting line.
It's a big step.
Everybody starts somewhere.
It's my opinion that it's a big step.
Right. When you say everybody starts somewhere, and if I could say, don't wait for a tragedy in your life to want to start to learn this stuff or anything, whether it be religion, whether it be this, just get something where you can learn how to deal with any massive event in your life well before it happens, because welcome to life, everyone. Everyone gets kicked in the nuts. Everyone gets punched in the face. And if you think you're going to get out of life without it, you're nuts. So just, why wouldn't you want to learn how to, it's like learning karate before you get beat up. Or you're going to get beat up first and then go into the karate. No, don't do that. Just get a burglar alarm after you've already been burglarized.
Knowing what you know about humans.
That was a big one.
I mean, knowing what you know about humans, right?
If being one for such a long time.
Well, if all of a sudden, Anthony, all of a sudden, you got a great gig, and all of a sudden, boom, we're making $1 million. Like, this show takes off. We're making $1 million every year, dude. Okay, what you're saying is learn how to save, learn how to manage your money properly. Sure, you know it's going to be a great analogy. This show comes $1 million. Who's rocking the new this?
What do NFL players do? How long are their careers? Right, 5 to 10 years. What do they do with all that money? They spend it so much, then they retire with 2 bad knees, and they'll become accountants. You know, if you're lucky, but they don't save up. The smart ones like Shaq and all these athletes, they turn that money into money.
Yeah.
Shaq owns almost everything.
I mean,
and nobody knows it.
And basically, what the advice you were giving is, you know, don't wait, you know, because be ready for just be ready for those $1 million to come your way, so you can set yourself up and not have a care in the world. And then after that is done, if you want to go spend it, do what you got to do.
This is a nice practice. This is a great technique. This is a nice lifestyle in order to be able to deal with those demons that we've all had in our lives. John's talked about his and like what happened to him and stuff. And listen, he went head first into this and learned a lot to teach other people and show us this method. Like, hey, you don't have to suffer your whole life with these thoughts that are just dragging you under the water. Learn how to deal with them. But my advice is don't wait. Don't wait until you're being dragged under in order to, you know, learn how to swim, so to speak.
Right? Every show is different. Like, you know, we're not the only show out there. So like everybody is different, but you know, we put our 2 cents in because we've all been through, you know, dark times and we've sort of dealt with it. I don't want to even say pulled out of it, but we've dealt with it and we're dealing with it. And once you understand this process, really, you see another side of the world. You see another side of the universe, which is
find out a lot about yourself is what you do.
Which is
you find out how much you could take.
There's dark and there's light, right? And we spend a lot of time in dark, right? Dark meaning we tend to gravitate towards the bad news. We tend to gravitate towards what's afflicting you because it's such an affliction that I cannot get it out of my thought stream at any point of the day. That's how much of an affliction it is.
Yep.
And it just tears you up, tears you down. You really get a chance to see that there is light, that there is this lighter side. And then on top of it all, if we spend more time in the lighter side, it kind of puts in perspective that this darkness, you can live with it without having to suffer over it.
Agreed.
And then hopefully, as your life evolves,
and your life will
minimize the dark side.
Over time, it will. But you have to get through that darkness, and learning how to do it before you're in it is very beneficial.
Yeah. And
I'm not speaking from experience.
I agree.
We all waited till we were all suffering, you know, honestly, until, you know, you needed this. But, you know, there's a great technique to already have on your belt, you know, to learn about yourself and, you know, learn that you don't have to let those intrusive thoughts or things that are bothering you control your life.
There's a redundancy of this show. We talk about the redundancy all the time, that you might have heard a version of this talk before in this very show. But if your life has met some sort of situation, your life has met some sort of intrusive thought gold, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just won't. This is step 1. Honestly, very easy, right? Very easy. A good friend, remember our good friend Eddie?
Just bought it, yeah.
Just got it. I was happy to see that you got it, Eddie. Good job. I mean, read it. You're gonna get understanding. Like, I don't think in the book you go into the detail that we just did to a meditation.
There's a chapter on meditation.
But you know, like this hands-on technique of, hey, sit there for a minute. Don't judge yourself that you can't.
No, I don't think I go as far into technique-wise. It's more of how important it does play in relating with your thoughts, and
so I hate to be
where it started and stuff like that.
I hate to be the Apple of the universal lens. You know, Apple has what they call a system, a closed system. If you're in iTunes, so if you bought the book, listen to the show, on long car rides, on to and from the supermarket, to and from
For a certain fee, John will sit in your passenger seat and just read the book to you.
That's not a lot. Could you imagine?
I'm sorry, I broke that up with a little humor.
That's great. But yeah, like honestly, that's all you need to kind of get started, and then you'll do the rest from there. You will go from there. You will then start to get curious, like I did. My flavor is I got curious as to how the mind is working in terms of being programmed, and you can program your mind. And I mentioned it episodes ago when I said if you're born and you're left in a hospital, you're just taken from the womb, you're left in the hospital room, everybody evacuates, and it's just you in there. And an arm comes out and feeds you so you have sustenance and you will grow. But then I ask you after a certain amount of years, what language do you speak? You haven't heard anybody speak a word of anything, so you don't speak any language.
Like a deaf person, they wouldn't know how to speak it.
You don't have a thought.
Yeah.
You're not programmed. You haven't gone out into the world and been affected. You haven't been programmed.
Yeah.
So if we are programmable beings, why not program yourself for really great things instead of programming yourself for really bad things or negative things? And by the way, bad and good and great and not great is all subjective. These are all words that, right?
I love this. I'm loving this.
But as far as I'm concerned, what's good for me is that I program myself with positive programming. And so that's what I like to do. But I already reached another hurdle, another layer. Once you pass that first layer where you're getting to know yourself and how it is that you meditate, how it is that you settle down those thoughts, and then celebrate your first and second session where you had this blank space, but you only know it after. It's weird. So once your bell rings after 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and you're like, yo, that's pretty cool. But let's assume, let's go with something didn't go right, right? Because I basically everything I said went right. Let's go in what went wrong. So now you sit down and you're really focusing on your breath. You're trying as hard as you can. And there's a thought and I'm paying attention. So now you're caught up. That's okay.
But try to redirect yourself back to your breathing.
Yeah, that's fine. And when your bell rings, finish. Do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, if it's a minute, if it's 2 minutes, if it's 15 minutes,
don't make it a thing.
Yeah, true.
Because if you make it
I feel like for me, I felt like it was like, 15 minutes. After like a minute, you open your eyes like 30 seconds.
Honestly, don't make it a thing. So when your bell rings, it rings. And tomorrow, you're going to know yourself 0.1% more. That's it. You're going the right way. It's hard to even imagine that something so trivial. You're going the right way.
Do you feel like going to the gym, that John comes to the gym with me and everything, that time with your headphones on, even if you're just listening to music, right? Whatever it might be, but you're concentrating on counting, you're concentrating on your form. Very good. You're concentrating on your lifting and not hurting yourself on picking them up and putting them down without straining yourself. What would you consider that and you do that for an hour in the gym, would you consider that a good thing to start to learn yourself or not? Learn about yourself?
Yes, I didn't know where you were going to go with that.
Yeah, I knew exactly. I think,
because it's that time of concentration where really you're shutting out the rest of the world.
That's fine. Yeah. So you're being mindful of what you do.
Okay.
That's not meditation.
No, I didn't think it was meditation, but mindful, I think, would be.
Meditation is a little bit different feel than that is. That you're focusing on what you want to focus on. The end game is pretty much the same. You're just taking a different approach. So you're being very mindful of what you're doing.
I think that's why I enjoy the gym as much as I do.
Which is basically what we talk about, right? And being mindful of your actions, being mindful of your thoughts. When you're working out at the gym, you have that mindful approach where you're aware of counting your sets out. You're aware of the weight you're using. You're aware of your form, my right shoulder, my left shoulder, is my back, my tilted. And there's no real judgment in
There's no continuity to it.
There's no judgment.
And seconds.
There's no judgment. There's no continuity. There's no banter in your head about it. It's just this, that. You're focused on that. Now, when you put the weight down, what happens?
See, when we're not together, I'm just staring off into space a minute or two.
That's fine. And that's great then. So if you do that, and I'm not saying that to talk to people if you're at the gym or I was saying that that's fine. If you stare into space in silence, it's great. And then you're at the set. That's more mindfulness. That's more being, which is great, right? Which is the gateway to all this.
That's the end goal.
You know, formal meditations are sitting down, like Kevin was saying before, and kind of.
And the funny thing is, I have nothing but time in the morning. I'm up like an hour or two before anybody. I have nothing but me and the dog. That's it. But I just find it hard to just sit there like that. Yeah, it's something I got to
find it hard because
I think I bit off too big of a chunk.
Like Henry so elegantly expressed at the beginning of the show, it's because you're believing the story in your head that it's difficult to do.
And it has to be a certain amount of time and this and that. It's not about that.
Meditate. Listen, there's the old adage, right, where a spiritual teacher, I said this before on the show, has a student and teaches a student how to meditate. And the student comes back to him and goes, teacher, I had the most blessed meditation. I was clear. I was crisp. My mind was quiet. I was in touch with my inner being. Teacher goes, he goes, this shall pass. And the student was like, okay. Guy comes back a week later. But teacher, my meditation was horrible. I couldn't concentrate. My mind was all over the place. I couldn't stay focused. So student goes, this too shall pass. And the point he's trying to make is what Henry was saying is, it's a constant practice. There is no good meditation.
There's no like goal.
There is no bad meditation. There is no such thing as a good meditation or bad meditation. If somebody says I had a good meditation, okay, great. Then I had bad meditation, okay, great. No, both had the same exact effect. The one where it was a bad meditation, you had to work harder on your focus. The one where it was a good meditation, maybe you didn't have to work as hard on your focus, but you were still there. They're both a practice. That's all it is.
That's it.
So one is not better. Actually, tell you the truth, you get more out of the bad meditation than you do out of the good meditation.
I'll be honest. I wonder if I would sleep better if I learned a little bit. Meaning the meditation of being able to calm yourself down in your thoughts, because what keeps me up is my thought.
Oh, yeah. So when you wake up with racing thoughts, because it happens to me. As soon as even sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll wake up and my mind starts racing.
Yep.
Most times I can go back to sleep.
Shit, I can't.
Most times there are those nights where I'm just aware that my mind keeps running and running and running, and it won't allow me. So what you can do in those instances is do a body scan. So now what you want to do is that you want to take,
let's do that.
You want to take your attention off of your mind. So say, I want to focus on my feet, not feel my feet. Now what? Your mind's going to go, to pull, my daughter, my kids, my this or that.
Relax your face, relax your eyes.
Yeah. And you could do that, and that might help you kind of.
Did you know that was a sleep technique?
Yeah.
How Air Force pilots use that?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, when they were sleeping weird hours and stuff, and that was a technique they started to learn. But what it really, to describe it is,
it's a meditation.
Yeah, and you really are. You're taking, all your thoughts and you're concentrating. They say they can't even get to their shoulders by the time they relax. It says go from the very top of your head and relax each body part. Think about it: ears, nose, facial, and you'll feel your face droop like when you really relax, and then it gets to your shoulders. Relax everything. When I do try it, I barely get to my chest.
It's funny. They said during meditations, you're going to feel your jaw relaxes. So your mouth could open. And, you'll find yourself, if you're in a deep meditative state,
you feel very conscious of your whereabouts and what you're doing when you get good at it.
No. Just see whereabouts.
Like, are you thinking about it? Anything like time and space? Like, do you feel like during a meditation you could really forget about that kind of stuff?
It depends on how deep you are.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I mean.
If you're in deep, you don't even know where you are at that particular millisecond. You're just.
Will you be stopped by your clock or your alarm that you set? Like, let's say you set for 15 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm saying you'll go that far where it has to let you know it's over.
Oh,
and you're good at it when you get good at it.
Well, now I don't set an alarm.
So what would normally break your meditation, out of curiosity?
Normal.
Okay, it's time.
Okay. Because it wouldn't be a thought, because that's
why it is a thought, but
it is a thought. I'm getting tricky. I'm throwing head fakes here. But in all honesty, what's the difference between that and any other thought you had to?
So there's no wrong time when to stop.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. There's no wrong time when to stop. It's not like, okay, I've had enough, I'm going to get up. Because your mind can say that in 2 minutes. Yeah. You can say it at 4, exactly. You can say it at 5, 37, 8, 9, 10. When are you going to listen to it? So
that's part of the test too.
You try to have some sort of a gauge going in. Okay, I'm going to allot this much time because maybe you have to go to work, but you have other things that are practical. You have to do. So you try to allot that much time. If you can sit there for an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, that's great. Not most modern spiritual teachers are going to tell you it's not necessary to sit for 3 hours and meditate. Is it beneficial I think, is it great if you can? I'm sure there's not. Me personally, and everybody's different. Me, I would fall asleep. I can't go that long when I'm actually losing consciousness after not 10 minutes, 50, but if
what's your general meditation time?
I don't meditate much anymore, but when I used to meditate, when I used to sit down and meditate all the time, I would try to do, I started out at 5 to 10, 10 to 15. I did some of Dr. Joe Dispenza's, but it went to 20.
The 20s are,
and that's it. But that's where you should.
Yeah, I was starting. Yeah, I was starting. I put too big, I think.
Those are guided. The guided one is easier to go a longer distance because you're getting directed. So somebody's taking your focus and going, I don't care what your mind's saying. Here. They're guiding you through it.
But it is probably better.
That's why I say guided or grace for newbies. They're now going to say for newbies.
Probably better not to have that.
It probably
has more of your, you concentrate.
It's a great way. It's a great way for new people to be kind of enter this world and get a feel for it. And then they'll be like, okay, I'm going to do one on my own.
You know what's funny is what we're doing is telling people to get in touch with your own brain. So you're carrying around in that bulbous thing on your shoulders. And all you're doing is going, maybe you want to figure some things out before shit really hits the fan.
Yeah.
Would that be?
I mean, this thing, right? What can you say? Well, we point to this, but we don't know if it's this.
But if you're going to go to the gym and work on your biceps, you're going to work on your chest, your shoulders, you're forgetting your brain.
No, but when you mentioned that when you go to the gym and you're paying attention to reps,
yeah,
it is very similar to when you're breathing and
that's what made me think of it.
Do the body thing. I remember you used to say, toes.
Yes, the guided, right?
And that was your preferred focus method. Mine is be the air.
I like that one. For some reason, it's clicking with me. Yeah, I was just like that.
It's a visualization.
It might even come up with your own.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just whatever whatever works for you. But this is why I believe the gym has always told me. It's almost like, so even though you folks at home can't really tell, but I've been working out since I was like 13 or 14 years old. And I feel great when there are many times where you feel like crap and you go.
You know what that's called, right? Self-discipline. You have self-discipline, what it's called.
And you're not listening to the story.
That's right.
Don't go.
Exactly right. You know that's part of your thing and it's healthy for you and you do it.
So if you apply that when you go to the gym, apply that same. All it is a perspective.
I can't deny it. You were 100% right. I thought about that today.
Put that perspective. Use that same perspective.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. But your mind's saying, we like going to the gym.
I enjoy that.
As your mind's going to say, we don't like sitting here meditating, Anthony, but we like going to the gym.
But
we don't feel great about it today.
Real self-discipline.
Tired, we'll go.
Real self-discipline is continually doing the things that you may not necessarily like, but is necessary.
Yeah, I
do.
I'm going
to reframe that.
Okay.
It's you're following your values.
Yes.
More than discipline.
Values? I don't know if that is a very...
Does Anthony value something you value?
I'm thinking family value. Oh, yes, no, okay.
Values.
Yeah, I value that, yes.
It's following your values. That's a reframe.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, you're following your values. So, do you value meditating? You might not yet, but maybe you will. Values change every day, but
listen, the gym has always been a part of my mental health. I know, and it's not a lot, but that's the only mental health really that I think. So, but that time is important. People who don't spend that hour in the gym with your headphones on, away from everyone, not the outside world, you cut it off. That's a big deal, man. And it's all you'll know why guys are gym rats is, you're addicted to the muscle. You're addicted to looking like this, your tight shirts. No. I used to tell guys that was my hour out of the house. I had 3 kids at home, wife and 3 kids. That was my hour out of the house for me. I wasn't at work. It was me, headphones on. And believe me, I worked out a lot of shit in my head during that time,
Yep.
But that's what it was for me. And for a lot of people. And if you don't do it, you don't understand it. That's probably the same thing with meditation. If you don't do it, you don't understand. Try it, and you'll see it becomes a lifestyle. I'm trying to get my brother-in-law to do it.
Well,
And, no, exercise. He wants to exercise. And I said, well, come with me. I'll show you a few times so that when you go on your own, you'll at least have a foundation of the things you need to do. Instead of just walking in there cold and not know what you're doing.
well, here's what I would tell your brother-in-law. It's not something you value.
You're right. Not enough. I said, just like Angel, you don't value it.
So if you don't value it, it's like the fun.
oh, he's the more piece of it. He's also,
I mean, it might be one of those things where you sit with a person says, I don't value it.
But you look,
So you hear somebody say, I wish I could be something like that. Well, it's not that important to you.
well,
But then I say, but is that something you would love to do or accomplish, or is that a direction you love to go in? Yes. And also then you do actually value it. You're just convincing yourself that you don't because you don't want to do the work that's entailed to do it. You could value something and your mind can give you your mind will tell you,
you'll think of 20.
you know, I heard a quote. Listen to this quote.
that if you didn't value it, why does it resonate with you? Like if somebody says, like with the working out, we use that example with his brother-in-law. Hey, blah, 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 not to give somebody's name out, why don't you do it? Yeah, I would love to get in shape. I would love to work out. I'd love to do it. I would love to, but like deep inside, like, is it something that you would like really like take, not pride in, but you care about, like feeling better about your body, feeling better about yourself, physically feeling better? Yes. Yeah, but I just, I don't like going to the gym. It's not something that I value. I really care about. And I would call bullshit. I go, no, because if you didn't value at all about that thing, then your interest level wouldn't be there really. It wouldn't be something that you care about. It's like me saying, I don't value. I say that. I say the same thing. I don't value. I don't. Going to the gym is not for me. But if you ask me, do I like to stay in shape? Yes, I do. Don't say you don't value going to the gym. You just don't want to go to the gym because of the amount of work that's entailed there. And you're going to try to find other ways to accomplish that goal. But like, that's the willingness that it takes to get to where you want to get to maybe. Do you have the willingness to follow that value, or do you not have the willingness to follow that value? That's I think the approach that you would need to take.
Well, the quote I heard, the reference to what you're saying is all your goals are buried in the things you refuse to do.
Yes, agreed.
Anyone can get to the goal. I'll get past the stuff you don't want to do.
Yes, and look, I would say quotes are great. Quotes are phenomenal, and I'm one. I think it calls it up. Yeah, no, I've been told by many people that I speak in tons. No, not in tons.
Oh, in parables.
And parables, and probably I tend to. So quotes, I think they are great, but don't get caught up in them either. Because again, you get caught up in the mind and the story in the mind, the story about the quote. And then when the quote, all of a sudden, when you wake up one morning and that quote doesn't resonate with you and you fall off your path. Because everything that you think everything that you accomplish meditating, or you will accomplish meditating, or I maybe accomplished meditating, felt great about. One day you woke up and your mind just says, this doesn't make sense anymore. And you're like, whoa.
What do you value?
Wait, where's my cookie I'm getting? Where's that feeling I get because I think I want to meditate today? Like, where's that? Yes, come on. Okay, where'd it go? We don't know. The mind just ebbs and flows like that. Now, are you going to do it anyway or no? Are you going to stand in that right then? Because you were alluding to it before, but you never hit that point where you were going to say, which by the way, I enjoyed the fact that I didn't have to say nothing for like 35 fucking minutes today. This was great. Perfect. I got to listen to it. Where just because you're going to do these things and they're going to help you, are you going to be able to use this tool even on the days or the times where your mind is going to make you feel like it's the last thing that you want to do? Or it's going to be so distracted worrying about something. Because just because you meditate doesn't mean your mind's not going to be like the pool, the fucking pool, the pool. I'm just going to use your example, right? The pool.
Did I say that too much?
No, like just something that like, something that just like, grab your shirt, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't give a shit about the pool, but whatever it might be, are you gonna be like, all right, I know I got to get to that, but I want to spend like 4 minutes or 3 minutes to this anyway. Or is that voice going to be so loud that it's going to say, no, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care, because I was struggling with it, not struggling, but I was listening to a voice at the very beginning of our show, right? In the back of my mind. And it was trying to pull me into La La Land. I just kept staring at Harry and going, I'm absorbing everything he's saying, listening to him. And then I started to see myself like hearing him even more. And I honestly started to say, this is fucking great. Like, holy shit. Like, I listened to episode 5 today, but when we were just be on the pool table. And you, like, what you sounded like today, not to blow wind up, like, what is it, wind up your ass? Or
Blow smoke up your ass.
blow smoke up your ass? I like the wind. What you sounded like today, was like me talking to you back on that tape. It was great advice. To me, it was beautiful to watch. And I'm like, I actually became a student for a few minutes. I'm like, let's listen to what he keeps saying right now, because your mind wants to take you on a fucking ride right now, John. And I just kept listening, feeling. No, that is great. Yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter where you think you are. I don't care how many layers you think, which is very true. It gets harder to flip the book, but don't think that life's not going to go like this.
Oh,
Just because you think I can't rip it doesn't mean I'm not going to try to, and all I've done my book.
but boy, the more layers,
I'm not going to bend you. It's going to try to bend you. Yeah, no.
the more layers you have, the more difficult it'll be.
It's, you have a foundation to withstand. He didn't use the word withstand. You have a foundation to navigate when it does happen. When life is going to come and give you an anxious moment, an anxious day, a tragedy, anything, where you're going to have to be like, okay, this doesn't feel good.
All right, quick questions.
I don't like it, but how do I want to live my life right now? I'm still going to do the things that I value and I care about.
Quick question for you, because we have 5 left. Do you think, both of you? No, but I'm trying to gauge if I was gauging if you. Do you think something like anxiety, let's say, is a time period of your life? Do you think it lasts for a certain amount of period? Or do you think if as you start to build anxiety, because I know it happened to you, can it funnel into something worse and steamroll like a snowball into something big? What I'm saying is it more likely that it's a period of time, or
you mean period of time? You mean like something that'll just come
happen to you, and now you have massive anxiety for, let's just say, like this year of your life was just absolutely terrible, or can it snowball into bigger things if it's not some things?
I think that's a couple.
Let's do it the next show then.
Can I say that?
Yeah,
I want to hear your answer.
Yeah, sure.
I really do. Like, I'm not bullshit.
I don't have
Well, I want to say this. After the show,
I'm not asking myself. I'm asking in general.
After the show, think about the question. And you're going to realize there's anxiety and there's snowball for the rest of your life. It's up to you.
You're giving them the answer to this question.
No, I'm asking. No, but it wasn't. It was a generalized question of are there people who do you think have been slowing through anxiety? Like it'll happen only event driven. So event driven.
There's 3 types. I think there's 3 types. There's 3 types.
I know that because I know the event of your life.
There's 2 types.
That do you think? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
There's 2 types. No, but I'm just trying to get my thought.
Do you think it was just that period of time, or you feel like it was a rabbit hole and it was getting worse and worse as you went down the ring?
Yeah. So there are 2 answers to that question. Actually, there are people who are generally anxious, meaning they have a anxiety disorder.
I know somebody who doesn't like blood pressure.
Which
blood pressure.
Okay, so that makes it feel restricted.
Just on the arm.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a misfiring of your amygdala in the back of your mind, which perceives a lot of things as threats and sends you into a full-fledged 5-alarm fire. Your mind goes like that. So you have people who are predisposed to that by nature. Then you have people who experience real life events that give them these bouts of anxiety.
Yeah.
They tend to, once the event has been removed, the anxiety disappears with the event.
Okay.
So there's event-driven anxiety in people. And then there's people who are just have a predisposition to have an overactive mind, which is that part of the mind, the amygdala, which misfires and keeps them in these anxious thought patterns constantly. But the person who, if under the right with the right tutelage and the right teacher and the right.
You don't think there's no number 3 there? There's only those 2 types? Because I personally think, what about if there's that tragic?
That's what I said. The tragic event that was the second one. It's an event-driven anxiety. So something happened in your life. Yeah, now you caused you to have anxiety.
Yeah, but, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yeah,
one that's just a period.
It's a period.
You said some people
are anxious their whole lives.
They're lives.
But it doesn't mean they're anxious all the time. It means they're predisposed to have that mind that tends to go that way immediately. And then there's a person who's not, but that person could have an event that could trigger anxiety.
Right then, that event is so detrimental and triggers that anxiety.
Yes.
That could it carry on? Is my point. My point is that such a triggering event? It could be something to, not change your mind. Went down on a plane or something like that.
It could change your mindset.
That could change your mindset to the point where now I start to think about everything is a fucking tragedy. Everything is like going to shit.
So here's the answer to it. Whether you're type A or type B, we'll call it, right?
Yeah.
Just to label it, even though I hate labels, type A or type B, it doesn't matter. If you're applying what we talked about
you could do that ahead of time.
It doesn't make a difference. So I say that,
but that's why we said get
started. Who has general anxiety disorder, let's say call it GAD back in the day, or whether it's obsessive compulsive disorder or whether it's whatever. If you have some sort of anxiety disorder, that person, if they're shown how to relate with their mind, has a much better chance. There's a greater chance that they're going to sustain the ability to navigate that anxiety easier than the person who's thrust into it, has no idea what's going on, and then it snowballs on them, and then but then at the end of the day, they can then do the same work and relate.
We know people. We all know people who are like, something bad could happen to them, and they're like, it is what it is, And these are just how they are, I don't know about you, but I'm envious of those people because it could be the smallest thing. My screen cracks and I'm ready to lose my shit, But there were people with tragic events and it literally rolls off their shoulder like it's
how you
either that or they're telling you it's rolling off their shoulder and they're a bundle of mess underneath. I have no idea, but
we never know what's going on in somebody's mind, right? We actually never know what's going on in somebody's mind, but it's how you're relating with that event. So whether it's your screen cracks, something's wrong in your house and that's got to get fixed.
Yeah, I get you.
Or a death happens in your family. How do you relate to your mind in that event? So there are days, and honestly, this is my experience from day to day, how easy or difficult that is, ebbs and flows. There's days the world could end and I'm like watching it happen. There's days my screen cracks and I'm like, okay, I got to watch my screen crack happen. And my mind will want to be a little bit more hyper-focused on it. It'll want to be a little bit more, why is this happening? Why'd that happen? Doesn't mean I engage it. It just means my mind wants to engage it more. And on other days, my mind, like a much larger event, will be like, okay, this happened. And you're like, wow. It happened. So it ebbs and flows. So I wouldn't even say like why some people no, some people yes. I wouldn't get into that semantics of worrying about or trying to figure out why some people could flow easier or do they or don't they, and why do I get. They said if you're the type of person you notice that something goes wrong and your mind wants to attach to it, pay attention that your mind wants to attach to it. Is there something that needs to be attached to right now? The more you practice that point, the more you start to get that separation where you don't attach to it. Even if your mind, by the way, doesn't stop yelling at you the whole time. Like, I could be sitting here talking to Henry for an hour and my mind could be barking about something. John, your ears are fucking screaming right now. John, thank you. I appreciate that. I do. Henry, what were you saying? Yes, I agree. Well, that's a great point. And I can I'll stay focused on it because I want to be here. I don't want to be.
Yeah, that takes practice. That's going to take some work.
And that's where what he said at the beginning of the show, that's
with the meditation too.
Because until like you said, I don't want to sit with my thoughts until you're willing to sit with the scariest, ugliest.
You saw what was firing up here.
Yeah, Emilio. I can imagine. I empathize because I know. I get it. Put him on your lap. Boogeyman, say, sit with me. Yep. Don't fight about that. That's the courage it takes, the willingness it takes to meditate is to say, my scariest, most anxious, depressing, sad.
That's the way you visit it.
Whatever. whatever comes up, you will look.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So when you get better, that's when you get a little bit down the road, that's a little bit more advanced. Where you poke the bear, you go, now I'm going to go there on my own.
You're not bothering me.
Well, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to see. And sometimes, sometimes you knock on the door, it kicks the door open, and goes, yeah, let's play.
Right.
So but that's a good practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just about you starting it and allowing whatever comes up during your meditation, whether it's a girl in a thong, a horrible car crash, a leak in your house, if that a tumor on the side of my head, whatever comes up, and bringing your focus back to what you were focusing on. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the money shot.
Well, I appreciate, guys, I have to tell you, honestly, I appreciate it because I'm going to definitely give it a try. I'm going to try.
Did the first half hour, then the second.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. It was perfect hour. It was super great. You know what? I feel awesome. It was just, I was envious for a while. I felt like you weren't just spitting out stuff. It was educational on a technique from the gut and how this is the beginning line. You want to starting line? The starting line, sorry.
He did that little thing. 5 new words now. Congratulations. Congratulations, big guy. That's just me busting his balls. What a time. I know, right at the end of the show, I'm going to sing Lacey.
That. But thank you. I appreciate it.
That was great.
Yeah. Good job, man. They were a good one.
Yeah.
Felt good.
About fucking time. I'm sure.
Question. The last question he did. That's a show.
You're right. And I got more to go a little bit deeper into
what about the anxiety. Is it momentary?
Yeah.
Does it last forever?
Yeah. See, I'll save that, put it on your notes there, and let's talk about it. This next time.
It's when there's an answer to that question. There's one simple answer to that question. It's the same answer that Eckhart Tolle gave when somebody asked him, how do I know when that's suffering? How do I know when I forgot the word? I forgot there was an emotion or something they used. Oh, how do I know when I've surrendered? Which is giving into and allowing what it is. He says, when you no longer need to ask the question. When I no longer need to ask a question, how do I know when I surrendered to my anxiety? When I said, I accept you and I'm going to move on and I'm going to allow you to be here. You no longer need to ask a question.
It's so
you know.
You've moved on. You've moved on.
Something several.
Yeah.
So the answer so what you said is, when you no longer need to ask a question, is my anxiety going to last forever? Is when
but I guess if you don't practice, if you don't put it in work, then it will last longer.
Yeah. If you don't do the practice, you're not going to change your relationship
and let the heathens like me out there.
No,
but you know what? His question, I think it points to something. So like everybody has walked down a different road of life, right?
Absolutely.
So your history, your practical history of what you've done, how you grew up, the whole thing is your particular thing. Mine is mine and yours is yours. And I think that a lot of the thoughts that go through your mind, may go through mine, is simply because all of the data that you have built up in your programming is just what you know. It's how you grew up. It's how you came up. It's how you lived. It's how you did years and years and years of the same thing. And there's certain things that are encoded in you. Get ready to smash it all. Get ready to wipe it all away, because this coaster here represents problem number one. This is you. Problem number one, and here's you. So this is your boss chewing your ass today. And you're like, bro, you got really scared. You thought you thought you were going to fucking lose your job, all right? It got serious. So now you just left his office, and this is you, and this is the problem. And now Anthony goes home, then Anthony goes to the gym, and Anthony goes to John's house, and that fucking thing follows you everywhere you go. And tomorrow
is my life, man.
Well,
that's every single day.
Well, tomorrow it's, the pool, right? Bro, that could be a $10,000 job right there.
No, but it was the strive for perfection at work that would make me carry around things every day.
So you end up having 40,000 of these motherfuckers. And you're here, and that shit is this heavy fucking load. It's a heavy fucking load. And in there's everything as stupid as a pool to I almost lost my fucking job. And everything in between, right? My fucking father died. You know, whatever, everything in between. You will learn that you don't have to. You're free. You don't have to carry that burden. You could go, you could revisit it. Hey, you want to check it out, but you don't have to. And you're free. So right now, you know, we kind of, you know, you may walk around with, instead of 40,000 coasters, we may walk around with, you know, a few. You're going to realize that you are a free being. You don't have a history. You don't even have a future. Like Eckhart told, the power of now. Right fucking now. Is your boss chewing you out? No. Boom. Did your pool, you're right fucking now? No. So that's just a little, I don't know, example of the coaster and, you know, this is you. Just to kind of say how we decouple from that fucking thought or those thoughts that are, you know, like a lot of people in the military might have, you know, killed somebody, right? Or even in law enforcement, you kill somebody. And when you kill somebody, you go into your own penitentiary in your mind. You walk into your own penitentiary where, Kimberly, yo, at the end of that, fucking took somebody's house, somebody's father, bro, somebody's fucking, get out of there, brother, Kimberly. And you drill yourself down. So here you are, and you decide to take this thing along for a ride, and it never leaves you. But I'm very sensitive to people that have, you know, been in that position and military and everything. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a professional to tell you how to. This is all you do. Separate it. No bullshit. You got to do it, and then tell me you can do it. Fucking kill somebody and tell me where you go. Well, what I'm trying to say is that this practice. I'm just saying how when you said,
I can tell you
when you said, well, when he said I empathize. I'm showing you just how empathic I can go in your shoes without going in your shoes. And I could imagine what a burden this is. But there's a bright side. You don't have to. And you know, you don't have to.
Yeah, it takes then that's where this practice comes in.
And it's a fantastical thing that to the point that you flip it on its head and you feel good about what happened.
Yes. I mean, well, Phil,
that's all.
Yeah, it's all on. That's all.
Oh, no, I'm living here.
I'm not. I won't go into that because it'll be about that.
Same track, same road.
Gotcha.
It all started with those 3 minutes of trying to meditate and trying to figure out what works for me. Trying to figure out that thought stream. I interrupted it. Wow, I'm in charge here. I'm in charge, not this thing. You know,
but. Be careful with the I'm. No. I know because even though again we talk, we get caught up in our words, and we start to,
because that takes the place of the new ego.
Exactly.
It's a skin suit. It's a fucking skin.
Yeah, man.
The thing gets in. It's a.
I say, there's a nothingness, and that nothingness is everything. But that's how it feels. A lot of times it feels like nothing. Like. Don't expect meditation to feel amazing all the time, because if you do, you set yourself up for frustration, which will keep you off from doing it. So if it feels like nothing, and that's great. If it feels like it's busy, that's great. No matter what it feels like, just do it.
But at the end of the day, it's a beautiful
show up.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Show up.
And I believe we should teach everybody this, especially for people on the front line, getting a lot of brunt, and especially post service.
Yeah, sure. We talked about it in a few episodes.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right, cool.
All right, good. So we're because pretty soon we're going to be talking to hopefully Tom Rizzo.
Oh, you gotta let me. Yeah, you have to put my eye and said you never got me his info.
No, you gotta give it to me.
All right.
He just told me what we're doing, but I haven't got it.
All right. Anyway, Okay.
That's great, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. All right.
Great
Yeah.
job. Come on.
Thanks, everybody.
30. We got down.
I gotta go to bed. So you gonna hit this spot?
Yeah, you hit the what's the nerd?
The insights and discussions that we speak about on our show are our own opinions and based on our life experiences. If you or someone in your family or someone you know is suffering and in need of help, please get them that help through medical attention or seeking proper therapy. Again, what we speak about are based on our experiences and not intended to be taken as a form of therapy. Thank you.